Hi, welcome to our first Paterno Presser edition of the regular season. We just got finished with Joe's Tuesday press conference leading up to Indiana State. Neil, Joe says it's 50-50 that he'll be on the sideline. I don't see any way he could be on the sideline given the way that he was moving around. He looked okay given all things considered, but he was still moving pretty slow. What do you think?
I would agree, very ginger, although at one point he kind of said that at some point you have to do what you want to do and not what other people are telling you to do, which, but I think that wisdom will prevail and that he'll be upstairs. This is really a scrimmage. I mean, it would be a more competitive blue-white game than I think Indiana State will be able to provide, so I would guess he would be upstairs.
No real news on the quarterback front. They did not name a starter. Joe said both will play, Bolden and McGloin. That said, do you expect at some point this week that they'll send out something like they did last year, saying that one will be the guy to get off the bus first, or however it works?
Maybe they'll sit in that front seat together, and then they'll both squeeze their way out of the bus at the same time, crammed in Norton. I think he was asked a lot of different ways about, are you going to name a starter? And, I don't know that they're going to send something out this time. I guess that will surprise me because he seems to be downplaying the whole thing. So to declare that one guy is a starter with a press release, I think I'd be surprised.
So they'll play two against Indiana State. So who starts against Alabama? The one that plays better against Indiana State?
I would think they'll let it evolve. The one thing I was trying to get him to answer, and maybe I didn't ask it that well, or he kind of diverted, I thought, back to Devlin from last year, but clearly there was a communication gap with Bolden as to either what they were telling him or what the kid believed. I think you have to tell these kids, okay, we're going to start this guy and he's going to play the first quarter, then you're going to get 3 series or something. I mean, if the backup goes in blind and doesn't know when he's going to play, that's when I think it leads to frustration.
And other item of news today, still no captains named as of yet. The seniors met at Joe Paterno's house, most of the seniors anyway, and they held a vote. So some of the seniors talked about what that vote was like. Chimo Coley had a great line. He said he went in and he saw a picture of Joe and Jay and the rest of the kids from somewhere around 1812. Chimo Coley, by the way, is a really smart, well-spoken young man. Look forward to talking to him a good bit this year because he's a quote machine. But no captains named as of yet. What do you think that means? Who do you think ultimately will be the captains?
Well, I think Joe was trying to take a feel for whether he wanted to have season captains or whether he wanted to just have game captains. And I guess they're going to have season captains, and they do have a lot of choices. I mean, you have Moy and Suey and Chimo. I don't know that you'll have a quarterback as a captain, even if McGloin is the starter. I don't know that they'll go there. Astorino.
Still, Suke. I mean, you do have a lot of choices. And I think what I would read into it is that Joe didn't want to, separate. When you have 8 or 10 guys who could be, he doesn't necessarily want to give it to 2 guys and make the other ones feel bad. Is that it?
Yeah, and I think that sometimes they go and they see how the leadership, if you have a lot of guys that are being leadership, you have Suey and Zordich are both legacy guys that could be candidates also.
All right, looking ahead to Indiana State, you already said you think it'll be a scrimmage. Before we get to our scores, what will Penn State be working on this week to prepare for the showdown against Alabama?
Well, I think Joe has really underscored the offensive line, challenged the offensive line, looking for depth. I mean, if they can't hold the ball and establish the run against Indiana State, then they got real problems. So I would look for an emphasis on protecting the quarterback and the running game in the offensive line and quarterback accuracy. I think defensively they need more than they got last year, and that'll be another area that has to be a constant.
What I want to see is when Bolden is playing, I want to see him take command of the huddle, get to the line of scrimmage, make the play, make some plays with his arm to build some confidence. Because if, like many people believe, the quarterback this season is mostly going to be Bolden, he needs to build confidence in a hurry in this game because I don't think he made a lot of strides last year before the injury. I think we know kind of what McGloin could do if he got into the game, but we need to see Bolden, Neil, really show that he can take command of this offense.
Yeah, the other thing I think to keep an eye on is the special teams, particularly the kicking. Farrell was a weapon as a kickoff man. Now they have Lewis and Ficken. We'll see how the field goals go. Butterworth was, he got his feet wet as a punter last year. I don't know that he did a great job or a really bad job. So I think those two things, are they going to be able to survive without Farah, who's had the disciplinary issue? Can they live with these other guys against Alabama is what they'll be trying to determine, I think, this weekend.
Indiana State was one of the worst football programs in the country as of a couple of years ago, lost something like 33 in a row, went like 1-50 over the course of a few seasons. They did turn it around last year with 6 wins, so they're a little bit better. That said, I'm going 42-6. I just don't think Indiana State's going to be able to move the ball against this Penn State defense, so I look for it to be over pretty early, 42-6. What do you think?
Yeah, I called it 41-3. I'm still searching to see whether a line comes up. Last year for the Youngstown State game, there was no line until very late in the week, and it broke at like a 39. Penn State didn't cover. They won 44-14.
All right, for Neil Rudel, I'm Cory Geiger. You can join us every week here for our Paterno Presser at AltoonaMirror.com.
I'm going to get stung by a bee.